Insurance. Why is it important when you're buying a home? How does it work? Tune in. You'll find out. Hey everybody, Richard Neese here with Happy Homes, and you're watching the Real Estate Rundown with Richard Neese. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about insurance, which most folks don't know a whole lot about, but I'm looking forward to getting with Ethan and talking about it. The Real Estate Rundown was designed to give back. We want to add value to the buyers, the sellers, the real estate junkies out there. We appreciate everybody getting on and want to help as many people as we can. We've got Emily Mitchell, Chris Pitts, Brandon Snyder. I appreciate you guys getting on. Thank you so much. We got Lee on here, my beautiful wife, Catherine. Thank you guys. Let's make sure we're sharing this thing. We want to get as much information out to as many people as we can. The questions that you have today may help them. So we want to share and we want to comment. Anything you can do to help, we really appreciate it, like I said. So today, I always forget, sorry. We're going to give a little shout out to Dominic. Dominic Gill runs the IT department for us. He does all the stuff
behind the scenes, the producer, hopefully,
I'll let him take the show.
Mess up on that. Hopefully people are hearing me tonight on that.
Well, we've been trying to cut his audio for 6 weeks now, and he still keeps finding out how to get it right.
Richard was upset that it felt like that I had a bigger image.
That's right. It's the spiky hair. So Dominic does a great job for us with social media visual, the company that he's got. And what he does is he helps people get to a bigger stage so they can help more people. We want to make sure we can help as many people as possible. And Dominic allows folks to do that through social media, through videos. So if you guys have any interest in that at all, whether you're a real estate agent, insurance agent, really mortgage lenders, there's all sorts of folks. Eckenrod Ford, is that who you're working with now? Is that right?
I think so, but right now my sound's still not working.
Uh-oh. All right, can't hear Dominic. We were successful then. That's wonderful.
Yes.
So we really want to help as many people as possible, and Dominic has helped me do that on a bigger stage.
Nope, that ain't it.
All right. I appreciate you getting on. So tonight we're talking about insurance, and we've got Ethan, one of my good buddies. He's going to talk to us a little bit about how that affects the home buying process, and we'll get into some other stuff as well. If you guys have any questions at all, please comment. And thank you guys for the feedback, too. If something's not working quite right, we always want to know because we can't hear it on this side, and we'll do as much as we can to help. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you take the floor and introduce yourself and let me know what you do and how you do it.
Absolutely. I just wanted to give a shout out to my mom. She's joined. Hey, Mom. My wife, Savannah, she's joined. My mother-in-law, Chris, they're all here with us, so thank y'all for joining. But yeah, basically, my name's Ethan Ponder. I've been in the insurance business about 3.5 years. I'm born and raised in Coleman, Alabama, so I've been here my whole life.
Absolutely,
and and I love the community, and so I'm really about trying to make insurance, which a lot of people deem as complicated, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for folks. So when they come see me, I try to be available. I try to just make sure that I'm there for them.
Yeah, we want to provide that high level of service. So.
Absolutely. I give out my personal cell phone number to each and every one of my clients. And a lot of people love that because I hear that all the time. They can't get in touch with their current agent or something to that nature. And I give out my personal cell. They can text me or call me anytime. I try to answer at all times, and that's what I try to do to provide service to my clients.
So one of the really cool things is that Ethan is he's kind of a new guy. I mean, 3.5 years. The insurance industry got people 30, 40 years that have been in there. So he's trying to push the barriers. He's really trying to get out and expand and help as many people as possible. And he's actually we're headed up to Cool Springs tomorrow for Coach Burt's coaching session, because we want to get around other like-minded people and want to help as many people as we can. So I appreciate all that you do, and I appreciate you coming on and talking about insurance, because I'll tell you, as a real estate agent, I'm not the brightest guy in the world, and so I need the guys with that big brain to figure out all the insurance. So the biggest question I always have, or biggest concern, the fire that I have to put out, we got Kyle Graves jumping on, Teresa. Now, don't have that baby yet, Teresa, all right? Let us finish the show first before you have the baby, all right? If at all possible. Now, I can run the show if I need to, but it's not going to be of the same quality. But one of the biggest issues I have is folks call me and they say, holy cow, we got to have insurance by 4 o'clock this afternoon to close. Or we got to do this by this time. And do you get that a lot? I mean, are people calling you last minute? Do they give you some time? Or how does it usually work?
Oh, Richard, absolutely. I'm really glad you mentioned that, because I run into that all the time. Over the few years that I've been in the insurance business, I've had a lot of cases of people run into my office at lunchtime and they're closing at 3 o'clock,
right,
saying I have to have insurance by 3 o'clock. Well, it's best if you try to get with me or get with your current agent as quickly as possible. I would say at least by the time that the time that you have a closing date.
Right.
Once you get that closing date, I think that's the time that you should start researching insurance.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's very quick, and sometimes it's 2 weeks from close or something like that. We have 10 folks that have shared the video. Chris Cotton just jumped on. My sister, Crystalline, I love you. I appreciate you jumping on here. We got Sarah Elizabeth Drake Willoughby. Good to see you. It's been a while. And we got tons of folks on here. We really appreciate it. Make sure you keep sharing, because we may be able to help somebody with the answers that we provide today. So we need a time frame. Is 2 weeks pretty fair?
I would say 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks would be a great time, because, Richard, that's going to give you, as a consumer,
Hey, Craig, appreciate it, man. Thanks for getting on.
the best possible rate. You're going to be able to explore your options.
Right.
And I wouldn't say, if you've been with the same agent for years and years, not to say that's a bad thing, but, you can explore your options. You
Absolutely.
may be able to save some money in the long
You
run.
should definitely go with the younger agent, the better-looking agent, right? Isn't that what you should do? The guy that's got more energy, that's going to get out there and hustle for you. Yes, Chris, I love you. Vin Diesel, you're my favorite. You know that. Well, you got a home inspection coming up for me, all right? I appreciate you. I really do. We got 11 shares going, so we got that 2-week time frame. You want to have enough time to shop around. Now, most people have no idea about insurance, how it works. They think, I go to Nissan, I buy a Nissan, right? I go to Ford, I buy Ford. Well, that's not necessarily the case in the insurance world. I mean, how is that structured? Because I think you were telling me, is it Allstate that just has one carrier? Is that?
Yeah, there's several different companies that are bound to one carrier. And of course, me being a farmer's agent, I've got to give farmers the first shot. But if that's not the case,
right,
then we have a slew of other companies that we can try to place you in, that is going to give you something. So that's something that we offer that a lot of companies don't. Is we're able to go out there and shop for you to make sure that you have exactly what you need.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about getting the right product for the right customer. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not about necessarily farmers, but it's about service, and that's what we want to help as many people as we can in the best way possible. Because sometimes a framing hammer is not good for I don't know, Dominic. I'm getting out of my lane here in construction. A certain type of hammer may not be good for all projects. I'm sure it's the same way in insurance.
That's exactly
Just lost
right.
my feed.
Hammers are good for every project.
That's true.
Every project.
We got 21 folks on here.
Hammer, WD-40. There we go.
There you go.
Construction tool start.
Got some of my other customers on here. We got Sue Morrow that just jumped on and shared. We really appreciate it. We're working towards close with Sue. We appreciate your business. Thank you so much. I look forward to getting you guys down to Alabama. Erica Phillips jumped on. We got a comment from Brandon. He completely agrees.
Yes.
He says the earlier the better in shopping for insurance quotes and getting everything in order. Most lenders want to. My goodness, Brandon, you gonna write me a book? I can't read. most lenders want a pretty solid quote during the underwriting process and definitely prior to getting the clear to close. So what that really does, and this leads straight into the next question we're going to talk about, a lot of times, we have that big number on closing cost.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure it's right with all lenders, but they'll have to kind of correct me. Dominic, they say your audio's, you're working on, okay. So I think you got to have 12 months premium paid up front. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, generally, if when they pay it at closing, they're going to pay the insurance company for the full year, which
Right.
would be the 12 months. And then after that, depending on your mortgage company, I believe Brandon can clarify that. But you can either choose to pay it yourself, on a yearly basis, monthly basis,
Right.
or what have you. But a lot of times they want to see that 12-month payment
Right.
at the closing.
Because at the end of the day, the insurance is protecting, and you can say what you want, the insurance is protecting the lender.
Absolutely.
The lender has shelled out X amount of dollars for this home, and you're paying them back over 30 years. But if a tornado comes through, God help us, but if a tornado comes through and destroys that house, that insurance protects that lender. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It
Okay.
protects you and as well as the lender.
Right. Well, let's just throw a scenario out there. Let's say that I have a mortgage and I'm not paying my insurance, which hardly ever happens because most of the time it's escrowed.
Sure.
But I don't have insurance on it. At that point, do you not still owe a mortgage? I mean, this may not be an insurance question, but do you not still owe a mortgage even if that house has been destroyed?
You do. You do.
Okay.
You'll still be on the hook for the mortgage, but a lot of times, if you do not pay your insurance,
Right.
When the mortgage company finds out, they will force place insurance.
Absolutely.
So they will make sure that their interest is protected on the property.
Yep. So what I was talking about with the actual closing documents, and we got Josh chiming in. Josh said plus reserves. You had to tell me I lost track where we're at. I started thinking about tornadoes and Rock the South and what's that singer that Luke Bryan. My stream of conscience just went in a bad place. I'll go ahead and tell you that. We got Shane Ray that just jumped on here. Sarah Owens. Jim Butts, we appreciate. Brandon says, yeah, if you're escrowing for insurance, we collect 12 months up front. So, and that's pretty common. But what that does is, let's say your insurance for the year is, $1,500.
Yes.
Well, if it's that, at that point, that's on the closing cost. So whenever the agent is writing up your contract, you've got to consider that, or it's going to come out of pocket. So that's huge on our end. So the more accurate quote we can get, the better we can do on that. Because it's hard for me to predict if, let's say, $5,000 closing cost, and then you find out the insurance is twice what we thought it was going to be. Well, at that point, we either got to roll it in. There's several options we can do, but it makes it a lot tougher. So we want to get it as soon as possible. Within 2 weeks of what we're talking about, appraisal. Is that the time after the appraisal is done? We want to.
Yeah, I would say that would be a great time, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I've had things come up like that before, but that goes back to the sooner the better. Like Brandon said, as quick as you can get the insurance quote and get a solid quote, that's going to be great. That way, that prevents any kind of surprises at the closing table.
Right.
So if you can get me over that appraisal,
Right.
That's going to be able to help me give you a very accurate
Yep.
quote.
And a lot of times folks ask me, I had somebody ask me today, hey, the seller was asking me, hey, can you let me see that appraisal? Well, that appraisal is not actually the seller's property. It's the buyer's property. They're paying for that. And most of the time, it's not released to the real estate agent unless you ask for it in particular. So what happens there is the lender has control of that, so they can send it over to you. The lender can, right? And then you have that information there, so you can kind of take care of all that. You can look at all the details, and it makes it a heck of a lot easier than you calling and asking, hey, that contract you have on such and such, can you tell me how many shingles it has on it or something? No, I can't tell you that. I'm in the process of marketing properties and helping buyers find the right home. I don't know how many shingles. We'll leave that to the appraiser, right? Or what type of shingles, or Dominic, I'm about to take you out on all that stuff. You got your audio working?
Let's test it out. I'm trying to fix it real quick.
Okay.
And that's why the appraisal is very helpful to us as insurance agents,
Right?
Because it gives us all of that information. We sometimes have to be like detectives as insurance agents. We have to, look on Google Maps. We have to pull up Google and look on Zillow and things like that to try to figure out.
I saw you had the shades out there driving by a property taking pictures the other day. That's what I figured. That's really how I picture real estate agents driving around, counting their money and taking pictures of houses, right? I'm just kidding with you. So one thing I want to do a quick plug. We've got an event going on. It's going to be on June the 17th. That's a Saturday, a week from Saturday. And we're going to be having a block party. We're going to be at 10 St. Sebastian Lane, where we're going to have 2 houses that are being held open. That's being put on by Mr. Open House, of course. I'm going to be doing the open house there. But we're going to have Josh Phillips with Gateway Mortgage. He's going to be helping sponsor. And we're also going to have Silva Enterprises, who are actually the builders, Geronimo Silva. He's going to have some plans out for us. He's going to let us look. So anybody that might be interested in building, we definitely want to get you out there and take a look. But we're also going to have hot dogs. We're going to have a bounce house. We're going to have 95.5 out there broadcasting live. So it's going to be a big event. So if anybody wants to come out and take a look on that, and we'll probably be out there from 12 to 5, but 1 to 4 is when it's supposed to be open, and open for business. And actually, Ethan, didn't you say you were going to come out there and bring some giveaways and stuff like that?
Absolutely. I'll be out there with Richard and everybody. I'll bring some goodies to give away, and I even may do a drawing of
Hey,
some
I like it. And if you guys have any questions about insurance, we can do that too.
Absolutely.
And you don't just do home insurance, right?
No, absolutely not. We do all the personal lines. We do auto, home, and life insurance, and we also do commercial insurance. So we're able to cover, we do boats, we do motorcycles. We can pretty much cover any kind of insurance needs that you may have.
I got you. So we got a question from Brandon. I appreciate you chiming in. Explain the difference between replacement costs and actual cash value.
That's a
so
great
we're getting
question.
deep now, aren't we?
That's
am I going to be? Do I need to take notes on this? Is this going to be pretty serious?
It might. But yeah, that's a great question. And so
we got to quit. Hold on. I'm going to cut you off on that.
Yeah.
Do you do pet insurance?
We do pet insurance.
Awesome.
We do pet health insurance, not life insurance.
No. Okay. So I didn't know there was life insurance on pets. Okay.
I didn't know. I don't know.
Sorry.
If there is
Back
any,
to cash and at replacement costs.
Yeah. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand, and you need to look into your policy to really see what you're actually covered on. So the difference between replacement cost and actual cash value is replacement cost is what the insurance company is going to pay you exactly what that item costs to replace it as new. So
so apparently there's going to be a test. I didn't know.
Get out your paper.
Chris, I want you to come and I want you to present that live, all right? I love it. We got David Warren jumping on, Charles Doss, Zach Kritzberg. Hey, I appreciate the comments, Savannah. Anybody that has any comments, please chime in. Apparently, this is a lot more interesting topic than I thought. Insurance, I'm thinking kind of a snoozer, but everybody's loving it, man. Kevin Campbell jumped on. Go ahead.
And actual cash value is going to be the replacement cost of the property, which is cost brand new, at a depreciated level. So the insurance company is only going to pay you the depreciated amount of the property, and they'll depreciate that based on years usually. So if, say, your roof is 10 years old, they're going to pay you at actual cash value, if that's what the coverage you have, a 10 years.
This is answer number 1, Chris. Depreciated.
Depreciated, yeah. Actual cash value.
Be a little closer. Depreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say hello to Joyce McConnell, Granny. She joined. Hello.
Awesome.
Brian Smith and Natalie Fowler joined us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Absolutely. So I'll quit interrupting you here in a minute. Go ahead.
You're good. But yeah, that's the two differences. And you may be thinking, don't get too worried. Get on your policy. Get out your policy. A lot of people don't keep copies of their policies laying around. So call your agent. Say, hey, do I have replacement cost on my roof? Do I have replacement cost on my house, my contents, things like that?
Yep.
Of course, replacement cost is the best coverage to have.
Yeah, I understand. So that was a great question. We really appreciate it.
Great
We got
question.
tons of folks jumping on. Ron Gates, I appreciate you joining us. You still down on the beach or down in Florida? I hope you're enjoying that weather. It was a little bit warm up here, but not too bad. We really appreciate all the folks that are liking and sharing. Make sure you comment if you have any questions. We got several more things to cover. Just let me find it real quick. I got a little off topic there. That's what happens when I ad lib. So one of the things folks asked too is about an increase in premium.
Yes.
So I had a customer call me about it was about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know why our actual payment increased to $150."
Yeah.
And they they were kind of at the top end. They found their dream home. We put them in it. They're making the sacrifice to make the payment because they love that place. but then they say, oh, we can't do this extra $150. So what happened was the insurance went up.
Yes.
And, taxes can go up too, but the insurance went up on them a pretty significant amount. How often does that happen? Is it something, how do you adjust for it? I mean, can you give me some insight
Yeah,
on that?
absolutely. It's not
Hey,
something.
Pam, I appreciate you tuning in.
It's not something that happens very often. Now, I hear some stories of people telling me that their insurance goes up every single year, but I know with us that's not the case. There may be different factors that are causing your insurance premium to go up.
Yeah.
But essentially, if you've got the same style house and all that, things shouldn't change that much.
Right.
But there are things you can do to mitigate the price.
Okay.
So, if you don't already have smoke alarms, even a burglar alarm, that's something that can add a pretty big discount to your
Yeah.
policy. So if that's something that you've been thinking about doing, and you're like, hey, I've been wanting to do that, and that can add a pretty big discount
Okay.
to your home insurance policy, and even smoke detectors. I said that, but
Yep.
fire extinguishers, things like that, deadbolts. Those
So
can
what you're
all
telling me
play a
basically
factor.
is I need to call you and find out how I can get my insurance premium lowered. Is that what you're saying? Because you've got a laundry list of things that will lower that, so you can help me with that if something like that happens. Or should anybody do that? I mean, should you do that every 3 years?
Absolutely.
Call and talk to them and say, hey, Ethan, what do I need to do to lower my insurance premium?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I get that question. That's probably one of the most asked questions I get is I get a call from a customer and they say, I need to pay less for insurance on
Okay.
my home insurance or my car insurance or et cetera. And I try to explore all the options we have. There's a bunch of different options we have.
Absolutely.
If you were my customer, we could explore every one of those options.
Okay. So we appreciate Jeff Wilhite jumping on here. I miss you, Burley. We need to have lunch sometime. Miss Snyder jumped on. Thank you. We got the whole Snyder clan watching over there. She'll put some comments on here soon, I feel quite certain. We appreciate everybody getting on here and watching. Please share. Please comment. We're having a good time. He's got me loosened up a little bit. So that's rare. I know you don't see that at a Mr. Open House every now and then.
This is a remarkable moment.
You'll see the tie come off in a minute. Just wait. Can credit affect your insurance premium?
Yes.
This is for you, Dominic, right here. How about this? We're taking off the tie. We're gonna loosen up with a real estate rundown today.
And my dad
Don't get
joined.
used to it.
Hi, Dad. My dad joined us. Thanks for joining. Brandon, that's great. People don't like to hear this, but yes, it can, and it does. Credit when you're getting quotes on insurance, credit does play a factor. It's something that pretty much every insurance company does. When you apply for insurance,
So my wife is telling me I'm not allowed to take any more clothes off. Okay.
when you apply for insurance, your insurance agent is gonna get some type of insurance score. Now they're not seeing your credit score or anything like that, but they're given an insurance score so they can see, or they don't have any way of changing it or anything
Right.
like that. But they basically, the company looks at any claims you've had and anything like that, and your credit also goes into that, and it plays a factor.
Killing me, Chris. We're gonna have to block Chris. He's killing me.
So that does play a factor. Some people hate it, some people love it. It just depends on the person.
I got you. So they got me off my game right now. Sorry, they got me cracked up. So one of the problems I see pretty regularly, and people ask me, so we've got closing date, and you've bought a home before,
Absolutely.
so you know that closing date isn't always possession date.
Right.
So how do we counteract that, or what does it look like on both buyer and seller side when possession date is a week after? How do we cover things that are inside the house? How do we cover the house itself when you've got a seller that's staying for 7 more days? That's a big question, I know.
Yeah,
but we
absolutely.
can break it down into, let's just do the seller side first.
Yeah.
You sold your home, and now we got 7 days to move out. What does the insurance play on that?
Well, my best advice would be for the buyer, the new buyer,
Hey, Maddie, I appreciate you
To-
jumping on here.
to have
Good to
insurance
see you, Jeannie.
effective with their insurance policy on the day that they sign the papers that they close. Because technically, on paper, your name will be on that deed. It will be recorded. So you will be responsible for that property. So if anything were to happen to it, you would need to be insured. So far as the person that is selling the property, if they're moving to a new home and they already have insurance on that home,
Right.
They would need to get with their agent, but a percentage of their personal property coverage on their new policy would go to cover the personal property at the old home till they could get it moved. Or if they're not moving into a new home, they're moving into an apartment or something like
Right.
that, they would need to get a personal property coverage policy.
Okay.
So a contents policy is what we call it.
All right.
That way that they're make sure that all their possessions in the home before they get them moved, while they're moving them, while they're storing them, something like that is covered.
I got you. So that sums it up on that side for sure. Is there anything else you want to add on that scenario in particular?
No, not on that scenario. I would just add that you need to get, because each company is different in the way that they cover personal property and things like that. So just get with your agent and discuss it with them, and they'll be able to guide you in the right direction.
So everybody's always time driven. I don't have time. So I'll tell you guys that I signed up with Ethan about 2 weeks ago. We got our home and our auto insurance done, and it probably took 15 to 20 minutes getting everything done. I gave him the information. It was quick and easy. So it's not that time intensive. If you're interested, even in just, what about, I hate to call it this, but quote shopping. Is that something that you encourage? You want somebody to call and say, hey, how I can help you better?
Absolutely. Just a plug here, you can go to my website, ColemanInsurance.net. There's a full form on there you can fill out. You can put all your information in there, and I'll be able to help you with that. And you can put
You're
your
going to
phone
scroll that,
number.
Dominic?
Yeah,
Okay.
And I'll be able to get back in touch with you. It'll provide me with all the information that I really need to give you a roundabout quote.
And he's only going to call you 17 times after
Yeah.
that, so don't worry. After number 18, you're good to go. No, I'm just kidding. So he can help you out, guys. If you're looking for insurance, or maybe you've just been with the same agent for forever and you're not really sure how it's being broken down, or you've got one of those companies that just has one carrier, make sure you give them a call. There's no reason why you can't at least shop and see if they can do something better for you. He broke down coverage for me. He showed me how he saved me a lot of money on my actual car insurance. And then we talked about another topic, and I'm not going to say you cost me more money, but you helped insure my home for more. And why is that important to know that, especially in the home buying process?
Yeah, that's a great point, Richard. I'm really glad you brought that up too, because a lot of times I'll have customers come in my office. They'll bring me an appraisal or something like that, and they'll say, I need my house covered for that exact amount.
Right.
Well, that's not always the case, because we're insuring your house for the replacement of that house.
Right.
And that may not always be, sometimes lower, sometimes more than the actual appraisal of the property. Most of the time it's more.
Right.
But we want to make sure that you're covered. We're obligated by law of Alabama that if we insure a property for replacement costs, we have to insure it for the full replacement cost of the property.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're protecting you to the fullest extent. That way that if something were to happen, God forbid, a terrible disaster or a tornado, fire, something like that, you're going to be able to build back your exact house exactly like you had it, and you won't be left out in the cold, and you'll have exactly what you need.
What
Okay.
if you don't like your exact house? You want to change something.
You want a little better. Easy now. So this is being recorded live, right,
I want a
Dominic?
different color. I wanted a pink wall instead of gray.
Well, you can always paint, right? You're pretty
That's
handy
right.
on that.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. So one thing that I like to do at the end is kind of do an all call. If there's anybody that has any comments, questions that you'd like to have addressed, please put them in the comments so we can answer them for you. We appreciate everybody getting on here. We got Robert Spicer joining. We've had 15 people share. Tabitha jumped on here. Tabitha's my assistant. She does a great job. Miss Kathy Gray is also a part of our team. She's my event coordinator. We really try and put together a team of professionals to help people the best way possible. We got some big things coming out. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Are we going to have that on my business page, or how are we going to do that?
Yeah, we're going to run we'll run a promotion on that, advertise the event at St. Sebastian Estates,
Okay.
and we'll go and we'll push it out big, and remember to share it whenever you get it. And,
Absolutely. And guys, come and enjoy. Have a good time. We appreciate Coleman. We appreciate Good Hope. The whole Coleman County community. We want to help as many people as we can. And it's not always about just a home sale. Sometimes it's some people come and talk to me and say, hey, we're dead set on buying a house. And I explain options to them. And sometimes the best thing is to rent. sometimes the best thing is to do a different option, buy land or do something different. So it's not always about a transaction. It's not always about a sale. It's about people. We want to help as many people as we can, and we do that by providing a full-time professional staff. We have a team of people that help in different areas because, I'll be honest with you, being a real estate agent at any kind of high level, you have to have a support staff. I mean, it's just like anything else. You've got to have people that can take care of these details so I can take care of those details because we want to provide that full service for everybody. I know I'm kind of going on there. We didn't have any other comments, I don't
Hey,
think.
Brooke, my sister joined.
Okay.
Hey, Brooke.
Hey, Brooke. I think that's about it. We're going through. We talked about lowering premiums. So informative. We're getting some plugs on there. Hey, thank you, Maddie. We really appreciate it. And that house that you and your agent were looking at, I don't know if you know or not, 707 6th Street, they just lowered it to 139, so it may be something that's in your interest. We're having an open house on it Sunday from 1 to 4 if you want to go take a look. It's a beautiful place. It's just a couple blocks from East Elementary, so we appreciate it. Savannah said we're doing a great job, so informative. If you have any questions, please ask. We want to help. It doesn't matter if it's about pet insurance or if it's about escrow or an insurance or if it's about investment properties. That's what we're here for, is to help as many people as we can. So if this looks like it's going to be it. Dominic, you got anything else?
Not all insurance agents are created equal.
Oh, come on now. You'll start stealing my tagline. I appreciate it. Like I was saying, we've got some big things coming up. We're going to start doing more events. We're going to have the open block parties. We're going to have some more things for the community because that's what we want to do. We want to involve people. We also, Maddie said thanks. No problem. Come check it out. We also want to do a few more things. Dominic's got some stuff up his sleeve that we're working on, so make sure you tune in. It's some pretty cutting edge and cool stuff. So if you check into my business page or check onto my personal page, we're just trying to raise the bar for realtors. We want to do the best possible job, and we want everybody to have that service. We've got a lot of good people in Coleman, and they deserve the best. I think that's about it. Hey, Tabitha, I appreciate you putting that on there. Give them some information about it. And we put it on several sites as well. If you guys don't have anything else, I appreciate you tuning in for the night. If you have any comments or questions, you can always hit us up. Ethan, I didn't give you a final farewell. Go ahead and tell the folks how they can reach you.
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest way to reach me, of course, is my cell phone number. That number is 256-531-4438. That's one thing. As a millennial myself, I try to be accessible. I know a lot of people don't want to spend time on things nowadays, insurance especially. So you can text me, you can call me, and in any way that's more convenient for you. I'll be there for you, and I'll be able to help you in any way possible that I can.
We got a quick question from Chris Pitts. Chris actually lives just a couple blocks from here. Do you know him? He lives down the road on the right.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh, wait. I think I had their house listed.
Okay. Is
I
that?
think I did.
Oh, you're the guy. Okay.
Well,
So
no. He was with another agent, but
I got you. I got you.
It was Geronimo actually owned that house.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah.
Mr. Silva with Silva Enterprises, where we're doing the event out at. So Chris asked, why would insurance send you a check from escrow after the first year you purchased the house?
Well, the only reason I could think that they would send you a check after the first year would be that your escrow account was above what
Right.
they had anticipated.
So what would cause that, though? I mean, you
well-
get the quote. I would think it would be pretty solid. What would be the factor on that?
Well, it could be that your insurance premium actually went down.
Okay.
And
Because you did all the things you said, right?
Yeah,
you
that's
put the
right,
fire
that's right.
extinguisher in. You did all. Okay,
That's
gotcha.
right.
Gotcha.
There could be a rating factor that factored into it. That's a bunch of insurance jargon, but that actually once it was underwritten, it actually went down in price. That surprisingly, that does happen sometimes. Yeah. So that could be a reason that they send you.
So what you're saying is that's actually your money that they're giving back to you. Is that right?
The company's money.
Oh, is it the company's money? Because don't you pay? I mean, in the escrow, you pay that in. So,
Oh, yeah,
so you turn
absolutely.
around
Yeah,
and get your money back.
That's right. It's
Okay.
actually the customer's money.
Right.
You would they would just turn around and give you what was left over.
So I think we're going to have to do a show on escrow, Dominic. What do you think? Kind of talk about how escrow works and taxes and how it's all rolled in. Maybe we can get Dan Willingham or somebody to explain that stuff, an attorney.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's very confusing with people on that. I've had to explain it myself and do a poor job on it. So definitely leave it to the professionals.
Absolutely. Yeah, the guys that get paid the big bucks, right?
Exactly.
So we really appreciate. We got Rachel Calvert that just jumped on. Rachel Parker, excuse me. We appreciate you getting on, sharing. We've had. It looks like we've been about 25 the whole time. Is that right, Dominic? Pretty close to it.
Pretty close. Between 15 and 25, so probably around the 22.
Yeah. So if you guys are feeling the videos, if you're getting something from them, make sure you share them. It doesn't have to be on the live feed. We want to make sure that as many people as it can gets this information. Most of the time we get more views after the show than during. So there's people that are sitting there 11 o'clock at night, they're watching, so that's hard to believe. But they're checking these things out. They're getting value from it. So make sure you share it so the next person can, please. We appreciate all that you folks do. Tabitha says, yes, we'd love to have an escrow live video. And then Erica said, lender holds a reserve. If the premium remains, the premium is returned. Your money. It's just like taxes, right? You pay enough taxes in, you get some back. Isn't that how it works? Well, we don't need to get into taxes. Let's stay away from that. All right, so that's pretty much going to finish up. If you guys don't have any other questions, we appreciate you getting on. Chris.
Next week we'll have the audio working on my end.
You got it?
I think so. I think people are hearing me.
The show went too long, apparently. He got it figured out. We'll see if we can't.
Well, yeah, basically. I'm just hoping everything goes well because we're doing an April giraffe type thing with my wife.
Yeah.
In the waiting room and the living room and stuff.
You're going to have it in the house so when she walks out.
You know, doing something like that. So that's kind of the next.
I like it.
The next step, the next push I'm going
We got
for.
Leroy Fortner just jumped on. We appreciate it. Hey, that was a pretty house, Leroy. I hope that sells quickly for you, and I appreciate you tuning in. I'm hoping to get a buyer out that way. Maybe I can show it for you. Like I said, we appreciate you guys getting on. We're going to go ahead and do a curtain call. I think Chris already, he said good night, America. So we're going to say good night, America. Y'all have a good night.